Hey there, everybody. I am coming at you this week from my classroom so I can finally find some peace and quiet. Couldn't find it in my house. So week 2, we're here in my classroom at Washington Elementary. So a couple things I wanted to talk to you about before this week starts. First, I wanted to review a couple of things that you should have remembered from both chapters 1 and chapter 2 of the text. And then I want to talk a little bit about what's this week, and then tell you that I'm excited about our face-to-face this weekend. A couple of reminders about explicit instruction. It's very much in tune to working with students with disabilities and those students that are low-level learners. So you'll want to remember that it's super structured, it's scaffolded in many ways. It can be systematic, it's very direct, and then those lessons all provide a clear rationale as well as the purpose for the lesson, kind of tying it into why a student needs to know something. It talks about those small steps in the book. And remember those 16 important steps it said, or important elements in explicit instruction. What I like about explicit instruction is that it focuses on repeated practice until there's mastery. I also like that it talked a lot about having both physical prompting, verbal prompting, and visual prompting. About 80% of our students are visual learners, but we tend to teach in the way that we ourselves as instructors like to learn. So if you're an auditory learner, you probably focus a lot on the auditory portion. Myself, I love to learn with rhymes and songs and music, so I find those in my instruction a lot, and I have to make sure that I provide enough visuals for all of my students. Chapter 2 is going to be really important, and I know you just read it last week. Chapter 2 focuses on developing a lesson, and if you've looked much at our syllabus, you'll notice that one of the big assignments that you're going to turn in is a lesson plan, and that lesson plan needs to be an explicit instruction lesson plan. So make sure that as you read Chapter 2, you may want to go over it again and take note of all the specific steps and things that are included so that you can include all of those in your lesson for your own grade. Some things I wanted to focus on is that there's the call to attention for students, and again there's that connection to the relevance for the student, and you're stating those goals. You're reviewing all the prerequisite skills, which of course I think most of us do that work with low-level learners and know that that's an important piece to our instructions, reviewing the things from the past or those prerequisite skills to make sure that we all have kind of that background knowledge that we need to be successful. I love the I do, we do, and you do. You're modeling as a teacher, then you do the guided practice with the class, and finally there's the independent practice. Also in my classroom, that independent practice is when I've got a table in the back and I pull students who are really struggling with that independent practice and who didn't do well with the guided practice so they can get more work in that small group. Remember that the closure for that is all really quick. Remember that this weekend we have our face-to-face, and that is supposed to be from 9 to 12. So we will see you there. I'm excited about that. We're going to be spending a lot of time on rubrics. So if you're somebody who's kind of made a lot of rubrics in your own classroom and you feel really strong in that area, fantastic. We're going to utilize a lot of your knowledge. If this is an area that you struggle, we're going to get to practice it, and we're going to make the rubrics that I will be using to assess your work in both in all 3 of your really large projects. Thank you to all of you who have been super wonderful and patient with me as I took the shell from Dr. K for the lessons and for the ReggieNet, and I was able to rebuild it. If you were somebody that helped me find an error, I really appreciate that so much. Just like you, I want to be as successful as I can and be the best teacher I can be, but I struggle with some of those things sometimes, at that perfection piece. So thank you for your continued support and help in those areas. I hope you all have a fabulous week. I'm making this right now on Thursday, so I'm praying that there is no snow and that I actually get to get out this weekend. I hope you all get to do the same. It was a pleasure chatting with you, and an honor to get to be your educator and your professor this semester. Have a lovely day. Talk to you soon. Bye.